And welcome back, everyone, to Box Office Report. Today, on the 5th of April, where the hell did March go? And look, not surprisingly, Super Mario Brothers Galaxy movie came in at number one. I don't think any of us were surprised about that. 130.9, so basically $131 million. We're also Easter today, so this number could actually fluctuate by a couple million, as opposed to like the maybe million-ish percentile. Project Hail Mary made another $30.6 million, dropping another 43.3%. The Drama, which I honestly forgot was coming out this week, hence why I didn't put it in the top 5 of my prediction, made $14.3 million against a budget of only $28 million. That's really not bad. Let's see. Hoppers made another $5.8 million, taking only a 52.3% drop. Given the fact that Mario Brothers came out, that's actually pretty impressive. And Reminders of Him made another $2.2 million. Dropping about 53%. Obviously, the big boy on the block right now is the Mario. With $130 million against a 110, against a 110 budget, it's already got great starting value here. The fact that it also opened on Wednesday really helps it out. Now, actually, that might very well be what hurt its weekend box office, because it had already been out for 2 days. Now, when I say weekend box office, in the grand scheme of things, it's been out for 5 days. So it still made a butt ton of money both of those days prior, which is why its domestic total is currently 190. Its international is 182.4, which gives it a worldwide total right now of just over 372 million. Again, the budget's about 110. I'd be safe to say it's about 100 million in marketing, roughly. I don't think it'd be over that. This was surprisingly not that heavily. I got like something on my glasses that just won't disappear. It surprisingly was not that heavily marketed of a movie. I mean, it had a good marketing budget, but it was not like super marketing. It was not super marketing. So I would say 100 million is fair. And that would mean this film's already made all its money back, is now profitable. You were looking at a film that would have had to have been made on 210 million. It would have had to make about 320. It's well now profitable. Has the highest opening currently of 2026. The question now is just going to be, where does it land in the long term? What's its legs going to look like? Or what will its legs look like? Man, my grammar is shot right now. And luckily, it's got like I said, I talked about this during the review, but it's got a really good shot right now. It just clear runway until June when Toy Story 5 comes out. The only animated film coming out between now and then is that Animal Farm by Angel Studio, which, again, book that a lot of kids don't even know anything about. The book is a lot darker than what Angel Studios is probably going to put into it, I'm assuming. Because again, I've seen the trailer for it too. I think it's an animated musical, am I right? Animal Farm's not a film that should be an animated musical, I feel. But regardless, yeah, it's got a good 2 months, straight out 2 months to just have the box office all to itself in terms of its demographic. It will not stay number one for more than maybe a couple weeks. Michael comes out not next week, but not this week, not next week. It comes out in 3 weeks. Michael comes out in basically the last full week of April. That one is projected right now around 80 to 90 million from what I'm told, or from what I've heard. So that means Mario, despite probably taking some good drops, is going to not be number one by the time we get to Michael. But it'll most likely hold number one. It holds the number one this week. Guarantee it holds the number one this coming week. And there's still a good argument to be made that it still holds the number one in the third week, depending on how well Lee Cronin's The Mummy opens. Is this going to be $1 billion film? My initial guess is yes. It will be $1 billion film. I mean, it already opened to $370 million. It has a $130 million opening domestic. It's probably going to have some good drop-offs because there's really nothing else out to hurt this. And that's not even to mention the weekdays. So we could be looking at a really, really big film. It'll probably become the highest film of the year thus far. Frankly, by next week, if we're going to be honest. The highest film worldwide right now goes to a movie called Pegasus 3, which I believe is Chinese, I think. And China released. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I think it's Chinese. But more to the point, China throws out a film every once in a while that makes like 6, 7, 800 million, and we barely hear about it. But it's like suddenly number one. And you know what? For all the shit I've been giving China about the whole Ne Zha 2 thing, those numbers I never question. I really never questioned those numbers because it is the largest country in terms of population, I believe. It's either that or India. I think it's China. So it would make sense you have a lot of moviegoers. I just find it BS that Ne Zha 2 made allegedly $2 billion or $1.9 billion in China alone, when no film in movie history has done even close to that in China. I just find that hard to believe. But I never questioned numbers like this. These numbers frankly make sense to me. But yeah, at 609, Mario currently, in its opening weekend alone, is the fourth highest grossing film thus far this year. It has to make over another 200 and some odd million dollars. Let's see, that's 28, another 2. It's got to make 237 million more dollars. It will do that, but maybe by the end of the week, to be honest. Probably not by the end of the week. A weekday. I was about to say weekday. It'll make it by the end of the week, though. By the next weekend, that thing's probably going to be at least double this, maybe more. So yeah, it'll be the highest grossing film of the year thus far. And look, did I love the movie? No, I didn't love the movie. It has some structural problems. I think that's really the biggest problem. It's structural problems. Its pacing is very off. It feels a little rushed to me. And it does feel like we are missing some of what little emotional weight the first Mario had. And let's be honest, there's not a huge amount, but it's got some decent little bit of heart to it. It feels like we're missing that in this one a little bit. Still, I think it's going to do exactly what it needs to do for the Mario fans, for the families looking for something to take their kids to. It's going to do just what it needs to do. Project Hail Mary also doing what it needs to do, taking another real big drop. It currently stands right now worldwide at $420 million. And look, it's not profitable by the alleged numbers so far. It's got $200 million marketing budget, about $100 million in marketing from everything I'm hearing, which means it has to hit about 450. But at this rate, it is going to hit 450. At this rate, it will not just be breaking even; it will be profitable. And I think that, and again, it made $30.6 million. Again, should note, just like with Mario, this film does not have any strong competitors out for the type of film it is. It's not a family film, but it is a 4-quadrant film anyways. It is family friendly. It's got heart, hope, humor, suspense, some action, like comedy. It's got all of that. And I think that's showing because the quality of the film is bringing people back more and more. I mean, for God's sake, Mario Brothers came out this week, and it still only took a 43.3% drop. So that speaks highly to the quality of the film. And so it definitely will make its money back, I think. It's $30 million away from doing that. Oh, just domestically alone, it will do that. I have very little doubt it will make its money back at the $450 million it needs to make. The question is, where do I think it will land? It's not going to be hitting $1 billion. I don't think any of us are thinking that. Probably will make, I think, more than $500 million. Like it'll cross the $500 million mark. But I see it capping maybe at 6. Because now the percentage the percentage increases are growing smaller. There just isn't as big of increases internationally as there were prior, but it's $30 million away from breaking even in just its third week. It will be fine financially, which actually is also very important for Amazon because Amazon has not been having a strong showing for their movie going for their films. But this is the first time it's critically loved. People, audience loved. It's actually going to make some money, which is good. So this, I think, is a big step for Amazon being able to actually play with the big boys. Now, will I be including it in the end of the year box office? I'll say this. If I could see it like 2 more Amazon films come out and actually make money somewhere in the hundreds of millions like this, then I would say yes, I would include it in the end of the year box office from here on out. But right now, I still wouldn't. It's not one of the major players yet. It's trying to be, but it's not. The drama debuts at $14.3 million. $26 million is the worldwide total thus far, which honestly isn't. Didn't actually go and check what the reviews for this film were, like what the percentages were. But honestly, apparently the film's only made on $28 million. I remember seeing the trailer, but it wasn't like a film that's on $28 million is going to have a huge marketing budget. So you're probably not looking at anything over $20 million at best. To be, to think on the, not the conservative side, but the larger side of things here, I would argue maybe around 20 million. Drama has a review, has a rating of 76 and 82 audience score, which, that's fine. Not at Project Hail Mary, which is 95 and 96 respectively. Mario Brothers Galaxy, not so much at 42%, but 89% of the audience like it, at least. So, yeah, I know there's not much to say about films like this, really. They are not really money makers. They are just because studios make films but the main purpose of a film is, admittedly, to entertain, but also to make money. It's still a business. It's an industry. Why am I struggling with words today? Industry. But sometimes you do make a film knowing it's probably not going to make money, and you can use it like as a tax write-off. Now, I'm not saying that's what a film, making a film specifically for a tax write-off, that's not what they're doing with a lot of these films. But I'm saying sometimes you're just aware that you're not going to make money back on it, but you had this idea, you're going to do it anyway, so let's get it made, And hey, look, $26 million for a $28 million film is actually not bad, all things considered. Mind you, the film's probably going to have to make somewhere close to like $70 million to break even. So we'll wait and see where that ends. Speaking of which, though, there was a couple films that ended up getting a big international pull. 512 million is currently Hopper's worldwide total, which means Hopper's didn't just break even, it just jumped past the break even point and now is firmly has a foot set in the profitable range. It clearly just needed to get some theaters in the international markets in certain territories, because that is a huge jump. Because last I checked, it was sitting somewhere in the low 300s, which would have mean it was creeping up to its break-even point, which would have been good. Here, this film now, profitability-wise, is like has made, like, doing the math real quick, somewhere in the neighborhood of $100 million profit, roughly. That's some good numbers right there. That's some tasty numbers right there. So what happened? Well, again, it most likely just got more screens. That's the biggest thing here. Beyond that, though, it's still taking relatively decent drops. It only took a 52.3% drop in the face of Mario. That I think it should be noted. So it tells me that people still actually have interest in this film, or maybe going back in smaller groups, but still going back to watch it. Because it is actually very entertaining film. I did enjoy myself with it. I didn't, again, like Mario, I didn't love it. I had different problems with Hoppers than I did with Mario. Both of them are entertaining films. I think Hoppers is definitely a better film. But they both have, relativistic, both have issues with each other, or themselves. It's just different issues. Let's see here. And then Reminders of Him, 2.2 million this week, 79 million. It's now in the profit range. It's just a matter of how profitable it can be. And again, there's an audience for this type of film. 1000% there is. I can't judge it. Universal right now, between this and Mario, are actually having a very solid year right now. Then we have, let's see here, A Great Awakening, 2.1 million. Let's see. One of the most defining moments in American history is the story of an unlikely friendship between Reverend George Whitefield and Benjamin Franklin. Roadside Attractions. Okay. I don't. These types, once again, this is no disparaging people who like these films. I need to be very clear about that. But these types of films generally don't make a lot of money, and they generally have a very distinct audience to them. So it's unfortunate, but it could be a great movie. It could be the best movie of the year. These movies don't tend to attract a lot of people, and that's neither good nor bad. It's just that's a fact. You could just look at other things that Roadside Attraction has done and just see the numbers on that to get the bare bones facts. They Will Kill You made $1.9 million, making only $15 million worldwide. It's on a relatively low budget, but not low enough. Unfortunately, this is its second week and it dropped 61.2%. It's a fun little ride. It gets absurd as hell at the end of the movie, but it's a fun little ride. This film, The Revenge, I'm not going to continue to bother to pronounce because I feel like I'm mispronouncing it every time I try to pronounce it. Made worldwide $150 million. That's actually really good. I'm guessing it's not made on a huge budget. I don't know for certain. But good for it. Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, made our $1.8 million. It stands at $33 million, but it's made on about, I think, a $14 million budget, which means it's still not profitable. I think it has to hit like somewhere in the 50 range to be profitable, and it's just not gonna do that. And I gotta do that. Undertone made her a little over $1 million, currently almost at $20 million. It might close out at like $21 million when it's all said and done, which means if you take the third out, made about $14 million against a $500,000 budget and probably only about $2 million in marketing. So the film made at least $10 million plus. So that's profit right there. And you got to be happy with that if you're a studio like A24, who again historically does good stuff. A24 does great stuff, does some Oscar-nominated stuff, but A24 also doesn't normally make very profitable things. So the fact you can make something that's actually making money is actually pretty solid. And last one I want to talk about is Screen 7, because apparently it wasn't just Hoppers who got extra screens. Now, Screen 7 was already profitable by a large margin, honestly. It's only on, like, I think, a $50 or $60 million, $45 million budget. Had probably about the same in marketing, so you're looking at about $90 million. So the film had to hit about $135 to break even. Okay, good, wonderful. Even if, maybe even the high, I think I, like, highballed it at, like, I think I got it right, like 135. So the film had to, roughly speaking, make did I lowball the budget on this? I think I lowballed the budget on this. Didn't I? Oh no, duh. My brain's messed up. I was combining all into one big budget. No, so $90 million total, which means the film would have had to have made $135 to break even, which it did. Okay, now Paramount is starting to look a little bit better because they just had a huge win with this. With the extra screens, it jumped all the way up to $300, almost $30 million. Take the third out, that's 110, sure. But again, minus the 90, you're looking at a film that made $120 million profit. That's the biggest win they've had in about 2 years. Because the last 2 years I've done the worldwide box office at the end of the year, they have been in the black. They have not been doing well. Red, actually. Black is technically in the black, is actually profitable, but they've been in the red. Last year, they lost over $500 million in their films alone, and they're apparently way in debt. I'm not saying this makes them look good for, and then of course, for a fact Scream 8's going to happen. Based on everything I heard about the quality of this particular Scream, my hope is that they take the stuff that apparently did work. Sorry, I got like a nose here that's like bugging me. Did work and apply that to the next one while trying not to do the stuff that didn't work. Which actually, I guess, makes the question: why did this make so much money? It's by and large, by a mile, the highest grossing Scream film of the franchise. It's almost literally double the amount of the most profitable one since most highest grossing one, which was like 170-ish. It's almost double it. So what? Based on the reviews, it was not well received. Hold on, let me get Scream back up here real quick. It was not well received. I've heard people say it's one of the worst films they've ever seen. I didn't get a chance to go see it myself, so I'm going by word of mouth on this. I liked Scream 5 fine, and I didn't get around to see Scream 6. So when this one came out, I also was just kind of feeling cruddy that day, so I just said no. Okay, where is Scream 7 again on this? Is it still around in here, or am I going to have to like search for it? Sorry, I hate how long this takes to pop back up. But yeah, why did it do so well? I mean, again, it's a known franchise, but we've had here we go. Scream 6 still still on this list. Let's see here. Movies in theaters, come on. Okay, no, I'm gonna have to look it up the old-fashioned way here with searching. For the love of. I hate when something is like trying to load and then, it loads and then, but it loads like something else and the screen moves around. You're like, screw you. Okay. Okay, Scream 7. I need to know exactly, because I know the critic response was terrible. But what about the audience response? I know the audience response was better. I do know that. Scream 7. Okay, Scream 7. What was the actual response here? Because literally something just popped into my mind that I don't like, but understanding how the heads at Paramount operate, at least given their associations, it's something I wouldn't put past them. But this is me going into conspiracy territory now. So let me just see what this was rated. Okay, so Scream 7. Come on, chameleon. Okay, Scream 7. Scream 7. Okay, 31. Ugh, man, you want to talk about? I mean, I've seen bad reviews like that for films that do make money. So the critic rating is never the defining trait of, never the defining factor that figures out box office. It can play a factor into people changing people's perceptions, but it's never the defining factor. That goes more on to usually the audience score on that. So let me see what the audience score was, because if the audience score was low too, it sadly puts a little bit more into my theory a little bit. Okay, come on. Oh, there it is. Okay, all right. It has 75%. It has 75%. Okay, all right. I can accept the 75 then. So that blows the hole in my conspiracy theory, which was basically that the heads of Paramount may have paid people to go see the movie. But no, I don't think that's what happened. So why? In fact, and it also goes back to what I was trying to say earlier, and I went off on a tangent about why Super Mario Brothers didn't make as much as the first one. That I think might have been the audience score, to be frank. I think that might have hurt its opening weekend. But with that said, why do I think Scream 7 again? It's the franchise that's had six movies, and none of them came even close to this. What was it about this one that did it? It's a really good question that this one I don't have an answer for. It had decent reviews, but hell, Predator Badlands had way better audience reviews, and it didn't do anywhere near as well as this. Should have, but it didn't. So why did Scream 7, a relatively poor reviewed movie by the critics, and it's just an okay reviewed movie by the audiences, do as well as it did? I don't know. Maybe it just hit the markets at the right time. I mean, we got to factor the state of the world in, so maybe people just want some escapism. In this, it's just schlocky fun, schlocky killers, baby. I don't know. This is one I just don't have a good answer for why it did as well as it did. But look, I applaud your success. I want movies to do well. So, with that being said, Hunting Matthew Nicholas, You, Me, and Tuscany, and Faces of Death are the movies coming out this week. I don't feel I feel safe to say Super Mario Galaxy movie will come in at number 1. I feel safe in saying that. I also frankly feel safe in saying that Project Hail Mary will still be number 2 next week. I vaguely remember seeing the trailer for You, Me, Tuscany. Faces of Death, I actually have not seen a full trailer for. I doubt it's going to be making more than $10 million. I know nothing about Hunting Matthew Nicholas. I'll probably still say the drama. Then I'll put You, Me, and Tuscany. I'll put You, Me, and Tuscany over the drama, and then I'll put the drama at number 4. I think I feel a little bit more confident in that. And I'll put Faces of Death at number 5. But that's my thoughts. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy, and I'll see you next time.